Welcome back, everybody, to the Insightful Podcast. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. Today, we will be discussing the one mindset shift that will 10x your life. But before we get into that, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends that are going to find value in it, and also follow us on Spotify. If you want to comment what topics you would like to see in the future, I'll definitely consider them and make a podcast centered around them. But without further ado, let's get into how this one mindset shift will 10x your life. The first point, ownership is everything. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, your successes, your failures, and your circumstances, you gain control over your future. No more blaming, just solving. And that last sentence is so important. No more blaming, just solving. Because a lot of the times in life, you're dealt with a hand that you can't control. Even some failures that you might go through, you could look at it and view it as, it was someone else's fault, or this happened and I couldn't succeed because of this. But if you take full accountability for your actions and for what you do, you'll realize that everything is in your control. And that's why it's so powerful, because when you blame someone else or an outside circumstance, you are giving that person or that thing control over your life. But if you're able to kind of step away and realize that I didn't do this because of my fault, I did this poorly because of my fault, then you're able to not blame anything else and you're able to work on yourself and actually make a change. Because if you blame every single other person for where you are today, you can't change them. They are who they are. They've done what they've done, and you can't change anything about that, right? But if you blame yourself, if you kind of take accountability for what happened, you'll realize that I have the power to change it. I have the power to grow from this. I have the power to evolve from this situation, right? So that's why it's so important to take 100% accountability for everything in your life, because that is only when you'll actually start to do things to change it, right? If you keep blaming outside things, you are not control over that. And when you're not control over it, there's no way of solving that problem. The next point is victim versus victor mentality. Most people operate in a victim mindset, waiting for life to change. High achievers shift to a victor mindset, asking, how can I make this work? Instead of, why is this happening to me? Right? I'll give you an example that I'm currently dealing with, right? I was able to grow my page from 200 followers to 16,200 followers, right? I was able to grow my page that big in, I guess it was 9 to 10 months. But what I realized is that my content has kind of gone stale over these past couple months, because what was getting lots of views and getting engagement and boosting my profile isn't doing the trick anymore, right? I could look at this and be like, why is this happening to me? I was having so much growth. Now all of a sudden it's stopping. Or what I allowed it to do was ask myself, what kind of content do I need to make? What kind of fresh new content I need to make that I know the people that follow me will enjoy, right? All I had to do was have that mental shift and change my perspective on what's currently happening with my social media platforms. Let's take a quick break to speak about the sponsor for the podcast. I am now working with a company called Attilius Apparel, and if you want Christian fitness wear that looks like this, or this, click the link in the description. Now let's get back into the podcast. And then I was able to kind of get working on ideas and being more creative with my content and seeing different ways that I could relay a message, right? And I think that's so important. Is just every situation you're in, you need to make the most out of it, no matter how bad it is, no matter what happened to your life. And sometimes things happen that are devastating, and obviously you have time to, feel down and stuff. But I'm saying, as in, like, most situations, you're able to kind of have that mindset of, how can I make this better? How can I excel from this? How can I turn this bad thing that happened to me into a good thing? And you'll realize that it's just a way better mental state that you're able to perform in and actually get results from a bad position or a bad situation. The next thing is your thoughts shape your reality. What you focus on expands. If you constantly think in limitations, you'll stay stuck. Shift to thinking in possibilities and opportunities will follow. And this kind of ties into the previous point is that just seeing opportunity and seeing where growth is available and allowing yourself to accept it. Because if you don't see an opportunity for something, right? The podcast, for example, the podcast is something that anyone could start. Anyone could start a podcast. They could start a podcast about a multitude of ideas and different, I guess, niches, right? But if you kind of limit yourself to why you can't start it, you'll never get started in the first place. And like I've said before, it's like right now I'm doing this podcast with a MacBook, a light, a microphone that could be better, and just some small equipment. And I've had a bunch of great guests on. I've also had a lot of great conversations. Yeah, the engagement hasn't been the best, but that's just the way it is. And I'm able to accept that fact and kind of push forward, anyways. So that's the thing you got to realize is like, if you have that mindset of having opportunity and seeing growth in every situation, your reality will change. And I'm telling you this to be true because the past couple months I have seen this happen in my own life, thinking of more and opportunities and thinking of the success that's going to come from my day-to-day actions, and things are just happening, things are falling into place. So I think it's so important. Like people, will think of mindset as like, I don't need the mindset. Tell me the details. How am I going to get it done? But you will never do the details on a consistent basis if you don't have the applicable mindset in order to apply it. So I think it's so important that the mind is everything. Everything starts with the mind. The next point, action creates clarity. Stop waiting for motivation or the perfect time. When you first when you first get confidence, success will follow. Taking action, even when unsure, builds momentum, right? You're not going to be confident in any venture you do in the beginning because you're new to it. You don't understand it. There's a lot of areas that don't make sense to you, whatever the case may be. It's only when you start to take action, you develop that confidence from some wins that you'll be able to get the ball rolling, right? And that's why I think like the best thing you could do, because there's a lot of time that comes in between of you thinking of an idea and actually starting to work on that idea. And the best thing you could do is look for self-improvement in how long that takes you. Maybe you get an idea and you start working on it 2 weeks from now. Shorten that to a week and a half. And then the next idea you get, shorten that to a week, and see how quick you could see something in your mind and take action right away and see how to get it done. Because you overthinking the process is just going to stall your success. And then the final point, delayed gratification is the ultimate superpower. The ability to sacrifice short term pleasure for long term gain is what separates the successful from the average. Shift from what feels good now to what serves my future self. This is so important, and my mentor speaks about this all the time. When he tries something new, where he goes on a new venture, he'll always say like, I don't care how long it takes, I want to see progress. I don't care how much, people will start something new. And I had this poor mindset when I first started copywriting, and this is what most people have, and this is why people think it doesn't work, right? Is they think, how can I make money from this? How can I start making money tomorrow? They're not thinking, how can I help people? How can I provide value for a business so that they want my copywriting, so that they want me to take over their email marketing, right? They don't view it in that kind of perspective. They view it as, how much money can I make? How quickly can I make this money, right? If you just change your mindset to delaying that gratification, being like, I don't care when they pay me because I am a nobody and I don't have any authority to ask for money, but I just want to produce some results. I want to do good work for them. And I'm telling you, this perspective will change everything for you. And the reason why this works is because I had a client that I did some free value for them. I made them a free email and I told them it was free. And I did a good job, and they wanted to compensate me for the email I made. And it was completely like, I didn't expect that coming. But it's because I was able to structure my mindset of, I want to provide these people value. I want them to see the value in the work I do and how it's going to help their business. And once I was able to do that, I was able to get compensated for it without even asking. So I think that's super important, guys, that you guys kind of view it in that way, that you delay the gratification, that you don't care about the result that comes. You care about the work and the value you provide in every single thing in your life. Well, that's all the points for today. I hope you guys, take this mindset shifts that I've spoke about today, and I believe it can 10x your life. 10x is an arbitrary number. It just sounds better for the podcast. That's why I use it. But I know if you kind of have all those new mindset shifts, you'll be able to have a better life. It's just simple as that. But if you guys made it this far, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Also follow us on Spotify. And remember to comment any topics you would like me to speak about in the future. I'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Crush a cold to a diamond, eyes forever shining. Your beauty alone inspire a nigga to rhyme it.